Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and family beyond the binary, good evening and welcome to another Owlet production. We are in week 5 of stage 2, the last stop before we hit the playoffs, and we have an exciting match for you tonight. It is Hyperion versus Volume 0. Tonight I am joined in the casting booth by the one, the only, the lovely Mr. Miraculous. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great. We have the fantastic colorblind casting duo coming at you. What one
You
can't
do.
see, we're sure the other can. So we're very excited to cast this match and looking forward to a great show tonight from both of our teams.
Yeah, we absolutely are. And tonight, like I said, is a very special night. There's a lot riding on the line here, especially for Volume 0. Let's take a look at the division standings right now and, yeah, just see how things are shaking out. So, the big thing here is that in order for, both teams can make the playoffs now, but in order for Volume 0 to do that, they have to 3-0 tonight, and that is a tall order.
Yeah, 3-0ing Hyperion. Hyperion is by no means a weak team. They, I think, have been a little slept on at times throughout the tournament. I think that people have been a little bit willing to look over them for stronger teams, and by no means are they weak at all. And I think that Hyperion can definitely throw a wrench in Volume Zero's plans. Volume Zero, I think, has to play very well tonight for this to work out for them.
Yeah, they certainly do. And why don't we go ahead and take a look at the brackets as well, because we do have those set up and ready to go. So as you can see, you know, the quarterfinal 1 and 2 is pretty much set. It's Paradise Tempest and Team Growler are both in. It just depends on where they go. If one of them gets the bye in quarterfinal 1, or if they get it in quarterfinal 3. It's unclear at the moment. But as we see down at the very bottom in quarterfinal 4, Hyperion and Volume 0 are there. So they're going to be going up against either Otter Oxide or Team Growloo for that first quarterfinal match.
Right, and both of those teams, I mean, I'm a little partial as an Otter Oxide player myself, but
Of course.
I think it is not a questionable statement that Team Growloo is a force to be reckoned with, and I think that both of these teams will have quite the trial going into this, no matter what.
Yeah, they certainly will. Whoever makes it through tonight into playoffs definitely has some hard and heavy hitters to go up against when they get to that quarterfinal match. Now, is there anybody tonight that you're going to have your eyes on, Miraculous, in either team? There's a lot of great players on both. I know for myself, I'm going to be looking a lot at the King on Hyperion. He always delivers a good game.
I was going to say, too, the King, Oakley is a great hit scan player. Very, very good Sombra, particularly. They've been known to bust that out and be pretty strong about it. But I also, Jesus freaking Lexi can't be slept on from the side of Hyperion. They are a strong tank line, and Jesus Freak is a freak on the Reinhardt, and Lexi is a formidable off tank. So I don't have as many eyes on Volume 0. I want to be surprised. I want to have my eyes drawn to them.
Yes.
But just from what I've seen, Hyperion has shown a lot of promise so far, and I want to see if they can continue to match it.
Yeah, absolutely. I will be looking at Tekio on the side of Volume 0. I think Tekio's done a good job in that off-tank role, and if we see her on D.Va, I'm going to be looking to her to try and neutralize the King and, the damage and advantage that he's, doubtlessly going to give to Hyperion.
Right. I think Tekio is definitely somebody to look out for too. Off tank players in general, as a DPS player, they scare me. I have nightmares of D.Va under my bed, blocking my pulse bombs and bullying me. So either way. But we are going to be moving into Busan for our first map, starting on Mecha Base. This is a very brawl heavy map. I'm looking forward to see what both teams will run out on this.
Yeah, this will be definitely very interesting to see. Let's see here. Give me just a moment. I have to
Sure
deal
thing.
with a little settings on my own side.
From the side of Volume 0, we are seeing them run out on they are currently selecting Orisa and Zarya. Don't know if they're going to stay on that. Doomfist, Reaper. Yeah, there's the Reinhardt. And we're seeing Ryan Zar from Volume 0 and Ryan Diva May Cree from the side of Hyperion. So that is a very standard rush, whereas maybe Volume 0 opting for something a little less traditional.
Yeah, especially with 0-2 going over to this Doomfist, there's going to be a large one-pick potential now for Volume 0. The fight has broken out, and already we see Atomic goes down. The Immortality Field there wasn't able to save their life, just a little bit too late from Kavaden. Rogue goes down low as well, but is healed back up. And Jesus Freak with Hyperion is now just backing off to kind of give them a little space, as it looks like Hyperion is actually taking the brunt of the aggression from Volume 0. And with Jesus Freak going down, I think Volume 0 is likely going to come away with control at this point first.
Yeah, I really liked Volume 0's play there. What they did was they really occupied the front line for Hyperion, and then they drew them in, and then as they drew them in, 0-2 was able to dive in on the Doomfist, and he kept both of their supports occupied. Lucio and Baptiste were both looking at him in the back line, while the tank line got melted down. And as soon as the tank line turned back around to help their supports, then Volume 0 pushed back in. So really great tempo with that Doomfist from the side of VZ.
Yeah, timing is everything when you're looking at a player like Doomfist, and the timing was certainly there from 0-2. Jesus Freak gets a charge. Atomic is frozen, goes down very low, and is eventually picked off by Oakley. The King is low as well, though, on this May. Oakley goes down, too. 0-2 doing some excellent work, but eventually taken out by Nanorocket. But at this point, the damage is already done, but huge shatter comes in from Jesus Freak. Tekio, Kavaden go down, and that's going to be a point flip for Hyperion.
We are brought into a short pause from the side of Volume 0, but I think we can talk about that last fight. I think that Hyperion had to invest way more ultimates than they needed to win that fight. Yep. We saw the Blizzard come out. It didn't really find anything. We saw the Diva Bomb come out to finish things. The Reinhardt Shatter had to come out. That's 3 ults. Any one of those ults, well, maybe not the Diva Bomb, but any one of those other 2 ults should have been enough. But it wasn't like they were really planning their ultimate usage. It was a little panicked from the side of Hyperion. So I think maybe they're just a little bit stressed out by the Doomfist. Maybe I understand that how a Doomfist in your backline can be a very threatening thing, but
certainly.
Yeah, I think they needed to, maybe they took the point, but at the cost of 3 ultimates, they have to really think about what they have moving forward.
Yeah, they're gonna get this Deadeye online. They do have the Amplification Matrix as well, and the Amplification Matrix, depending on how they use it, it's either just gonna burn time off the clock, or it could actually get some kills and picks, but, it's less likely that the latter is going to happen. Nanorocket has the beat, so they do also have a lot of sustain on point. But yeah, look at this ult bank that Volume 0 has coming in. Everything except for 0-2's Meteor Strike.
We're back in now, and this is just going to take some. We see the Crusader or the Hyperion. Sorry, the Crusaders. Hyperion staging up here for this standard brawl. We do see Volume 0 is going to want to brawl into them hard and fast with that Reaper. We see the wall come out early from King, but the fight has started.
The Shatter comes in from Atomic, doesn't really catch anybody up. The beat is there from Nanorocket to keep their team up. The High Noon catches 4! After I said that it doesn't usually get a whole lot, it's usually just for zoning. Excellent work there from Oakley to hold on to that point. But again, they used every single ultimate they had.
Mm-hmm. They are close to another Shatter, which is great. They have the Shatter Blizzard that they invested. Jesus Freak, not even going to get a chance to take it, use it though.
No, he's not, as he gets charged to death by Atomic. And now things are really opening up for Volumes here to come in.
King's Blizzard is
out though. But the Blizzard, Tekio doing a fantastic job. Already coming alive on that Diva, doing the work that needs to be done to keep Volume 0 in the race for the playoffs.
Wow, that was an impressive impressive eat of King's Blizzard. That was a very big ultimate that you had to absorb, and they got it where they needed it. So we really need to see careful play come out from the side of Hyperion. They have to be smart about what they're doing. Rogue looking dangerous though with the May wall.
Yeah, Shatter gets blocked from Jesus Freak. Atomic just holds up that shield and delivers the counter Shatter. It catches 3. The entire tank line plus Oakley hit the ground. They stand back up though and continue this fight. Oakley is actually able to equalize with a pick onto Atomic now. So things could go either way. The high noon popped as well from Oakley. Can it find the value it got last time? No, it doesn't look like it. But Rogue is there to take out the King. Still, this could go either way.
Interesting ult choices here. We see the Blizzard come out. We see the bomb come out from Lexi just to try and, I think, clear some space and save their main tank. Oakley, however, is just not being contested. He's able to just free fire, and without watching those DPS, I think BZ is going to run into some trouble.
They certainly are in trouble. This time is spelled Jesus Freak, because that rocket hammer did a tremendous amount of work there on point, getting rid of the rest of the members of Volume 0.
Absolutely. That was... I wouldn't want to be that I want to be in the way of that hammer. I'll just say that. We do see the Jesus Freak and the King both have those great ultimates to work with. If they can cycle this Blizzard and this Shatter correctly, then this should be a one fight. Because there's not a lot that Hyperion has to answer, or sorry, that Volume 0 has to answer for this. But they are using it all at once.
Oh, and there's the Shatter. The Shatter catches 4. The rest of the team is there to get the cleanup done. And there's 88% now on the capture percentage. Volume 0 is going to have to recontest very quickly if they hope to have a chance. And that's going to be so much harder without 0-2 and the Blizzard they have.
That is a sad day to see your Mei staggered so late, and it doesn't really, I mean, without that, that's a crucial person to be missing. Rogue looking to try and accomplish something with this, with the Death Blossom. He is able to jump in. Is it going to be able to find the value he needs, though?
No, it's unable to, because the Immortality Field is there. Felix Penguin also pops that Amplification Matrix, and Nanorocket uses the beat as well to give Hyperion the sustain that they need to clean up the rest of the members of Volume 0 as they fall, and Hyperion goes up early, 1-0 in control.
Yeah, I mean, that looked very dominant for the side of Volume 0. They were very strong. They were well tempoed. They were taking the space that they needed and the time that they needed. But after Hyperion found their footing and what their DPS had the space they needed to perform work, there wasn't really anything to do about it.
Yeah, they won that neutral fight very, very well, but it seemed like any plans that they had just kind of went out the window as soon as, especially as soon as Hyperion took the point.
Yeah, I think that they really need to be careful with their ult usage. Hyperion has a tendency to overcommit to ultimates and not cycle them extremely well. They just need to be able to exploit that, and this will become a lot easier for them.
Comes in from Oakley onto the backline. Rogue is able to stay alive, though, throughout it all. Immortality Field used early from Kabaden, and after this goes down, yeah, look at that, Jesus Freak taken out by Tekio. That Immortality Field being down is definitely the go button, as we see Felix Penguin going down very low. They are picked off by 0-2, so that is a fantastic equalization. 0-2 getting work done, actually takes out the entire support line of Hyperion, and once again, we're going to see Volume 0 take control first.
I think a lot of teams, maybe less so than now, but a lot of teams are guilty of just not being aware of the damage that Echo can put in. She is so dangerous, especially in close quarters where she can just, it's like a Junkrat, just the raw amount of damage being pushed in, and you have to be aware of that, as she already has Duplicate.
Yeah, and we see that there's now 2 divas on the team. 0-2 joins Tekio in the booth. And already we see once again picks coming in from Volume 0. Jesus Freak down as well due to Atomic. Great work once again from Volume 0.
Yeah, Atomic using that Earth Shadow to try and just clear out the fight. I really think they maybe could have done with just the Duplicate. I don't think that Hyperion really had an answer to that, but they have the real Diva Bomb and 3 other ultimates. So this is looking okay for them. An EMP though, people might not work out.
No, it isn't. Lamaski was there, though. The only member of Volume Zero that didn't get caught out. They used the beat to try and keep their team up, but it's just not enough. Even without the king there, the rest of Hyperion is getting the work done.
That is... I gotta stop talking. I gotta stop cursing these poor people. Yeah, that EMP, like I said, Oakley, a fantastic Sombra. When he's given the space to work, he makes it work. And now it's really going to be on... a little bit tougher for VZ to push back into this with the support ultimates that Hyperion has.
Yeah, that's very true. That Coalescence can deal a tremendous amount of damage, and I imagine we'll see it popped early. Diva Bomb comes in. It does catch out Atomic. Lexi, they find the pick to open things up once again for Hyperion, and Volume Zero sent packing back to spawn once again.
You know, I think what we're really seeing here is that Hyperion Volume Zero, I mean, has a little bit of a stronger neutral game, but when it comes to using ultimates and using ultimates aggressively and setting the tempo, that's where Hyperion is really excelling here. They know that they can use abilities when they need to and just use them first, and it wins them fights. But when they don't have those abilities, when they overcommit, that's when they lose.
You're right, and look at this. Rogue, because they popped the Deadeye first, they were able to start things out, and now Volume Zero has Hyperion, you know, grasping at straws to try and stay alive here. Oakley doing their best to just farm. Oh, in the backline, but a phenomenal shot from Rogue takes them out.
Yeah, I think my mic must be leaked to them, so they were listening. But I think that was perfect. They just used ultimates aggressively. They used the window to clear space. They used the high noon, found a pick with it, which is, you know, a coin flip. But it was really well done. What they need to do is they have to watch out for this EMP from Oakley. They have to be ult tracking and be careful, and this should be in for them. I mean, 0-2 going down early is not a great thing, but
yeah. EMP and a Shatter. Shatter catches too, but EMP gets through, and it looks like the EMP is going to be the one that does more effective work here, as we see Volume Zero getting picked apart now, since they can't use any of their abilities or their ultimates, and wisely, they have decided to hang on to what they still have.
I really would like to see Volume Zero just play faster there, play into them, take that space, jump in on them, use the Earth Shatter. They were playing grouped up. They let them push into them and let Oakley take his time setting up that EMP, and that's why they lost that push so decisively, even though they invested ultimates.
Here we go. This is Final Fight territory, and it is the last chance for Volume Zero to make a case for themselves to stay in the playoff, but the King has other ideas with the Death Blossom, and with overtime ticking down slowly but surely, Volume Zero's hopes have been dashed upon the ground like the rest of the members of their team, and Hyperion is moving on into your playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. We play the rest of the match to see how it goes, but the decision has been made. Hyperion is your 6th seed for the Owlet tournament.
And you know, that's just, it's gotta be soul crushing to Volume Zero. They have so much. Oh, that was delicious. They have so much that they were working for, and they knew it was a long shot, but you know, you really have to just what they have to do now is they have to rally around this, you know, oh, we just have to do better for the rest of the game. But the real hopes have been taken away, and that is, you got to have a strong mental to put up with that. I don't envy being on that position right now.
Yeah, Volume Zero, we do love you. You made a great effort this entire season, and sorry to see it ending here with a loss to Hyperion, but this is the way it goes. We have to crown some winners here in this tournament, and Hyperion still has a chance to be your #1 Owlet team.
Absolutely. I think that if Hyperion continues to play, you know, I think what this is basically is that Volume Zero has to exploit Hyperion's mistakes. When Volume Zero is taking is waiting too long, and they're taking their time, they're not setting up, letting Hyperion set that tempo, that's when Hyperion is winning. when Hyperion is able to do what they want with the Sombra, you have to play fast into that. When they're able to just walk on you, and you're not playing your brawl into them very well, that's when they win. So Volume Zero has to take advantage of those over ults. They have to know they used 4 last fight. They're not going to have much for this next fight, but they have to be making those conscious decisions and not letting themselves get caught up in the immediate what's going on. You have to be able to take a step back and plan.
Yeah, you absolutely do. We see a substitution coming in now for Hyperion. We're gonna see Jesus Freak go take a seat on the bench for a little while, and Stuffin' Things is going to come in on that main tank role. So maybe they know at this point that they've clinched, and they're just giving everybody a little bit of time, in a match game, warming up for the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe this is all just a practice run for for Hyperion. They've had
At this point.
a mixed season a little bit so far, so I'm sure that they appreciate any practice they can get, especially against a good team like Volume Zero. And I don't want anybody out there to think that just because Volume Zero has not made it into the playoffs that they are not a good team. They have put up a lot of fight, and they have done a lot better than a lot of people I think were going to give them credit for at the beginning of this season of Owlet. People were really writing them off for a long time. And even if they win, or even if they don't make playoffs, a win here would still say, look how far we've come as a team.
Yes, absolutely. It really would. And, it would definitely hurt Hyperion's mental, I think, to come, to be like, yeah, we got playoffs, but we've lost to Volume Zero.
That's Volume Zero, yeah.
Yeah, that would be rough, for them going into playoffs. So I think both teams are still going to be playing here to win today. They're still going to be playing for, the recognition that this win is going to get for them.
Absolutely. I think as a player, you can make playoffs, but you're still gonna see that number under the losses, right? That's still gonna stand out to you. So, if you can't beat them, you can at least hurt their pride. Volume Zero, you can handicap them going into the playoffs, but
handicap them.
We don't. Yeah, exactly. Nancy Kerrigan them. But. I don't want anybody to think we're having favorites. Hyperion, you guys have been doing great too, and we want to see more excellent performances from Oakley and great work by Lexi too. Both very great performances, and not even to mention the supports allowing them to pop off.
Oh, yeah.
So far, this has been a great map. And
it really has. Hyperion definitely looking very in control. The last map was hotly contested, but still, overall, it's the mark of a winning team is the one who can survive, through these struggles and persevere through adversity. And Hyperion has definitely shown that they can so far, at least in the control map.
It's all the mental. And as well too, Misfit really likes to say that control does not define a series, so we could really easily see a whole different ball game from the rest of this. We could see just some dominance by Volume Zero, and everybody just be like, where was this map 1, where they're just not as comfortable in that tempo. But I think that either way, we have a really great series to look forward to.
Yeah, we do. We certainly do. And that series is going to continue now to the rivers and canals of Rialto. An excellent map to see a lot of different compositions played on. It looks like Brawl is coming out for Hyperion. Oh, no, sorry. Double Shield is actually coming out for Hyperion. A Double Shield with a Reinhardt, as a matter of fact. How do you think that really differs from, let's say, what Volume Zero is running out with this Orisa Sig?
Yeah, I think the Orisa Sig is an interesting decision. I think that the burden falls on the Hyperion to play Brawl correctly into Double Shield. You have to take that space and force yourselves into them and not give them the poke damage that they want. That Bastion is very scary to most teams at this league, so I think this will be an interesting decision. They seem to be taking a page out of Growlu's book, Botties specifically.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And you know what? No better team really to try and mimic, for the most part, than Growlithe. At least they're winning percentage.
In some ways, yes.
Yeah, you know, maybe not the feeding frenzy that Growlithe himself goes on. Stuffin' Things coming out with an early pick, though, onto Tekio. Kavaden falls as well, but they are quickly rezzed, and that's good for them because they're going to need those heals to keep the remaining members of Volume Zero alive.
Yeah, that was exactly what Hyperion needed to do. Is they didn't let the Bastion get all the free poke. They got around the corner where they could rush into him. They weren't able to set up, and they just rushed them, and they were able to take down the Sigma, and then they all had to back out really quickly. And now we see them switching over to the double bubble composition, still on the Bastion, interestingly, but not going to have near the amount of support as they would before.
Yeah, and an interesting support line, too. Normally you would see an Ana with this double bubble because the Nano is such a big part of the way that this works, but already it is a 4v4 on point. The King now has to use that Cryo Freeze to stay alive. The rest of the members of Volume Zero decide to leave him alone, at least for the moment. And Hyperion just kind of backing up a little bit, giving Volume Zero a little bit of space to work with while they set up for their next dive.
We do see Rogue switch over to the Ashe now, just probably a little bit more consistent value than the Bastion. I really like that fight for Hyperion. Hyperion used one ultimate ability and were able to win it. Rogue is caught out of position on the cart and just gets melted by Stuffin' Things ult. He does get rezzed. You know, interesting ult usage by both teams here so far.
Yeah, the solo shatter from Stuffin' Things didn't get quite the value I think that maybe he wanted it to get with Rogue getting rezzed so quickly that now we have 0-2 though in the backline with this Pulse Bomb. They're gonna be looking for one of the supports to try and take out either Felix Penguin or Nanorocket. Probably Nanorocket would be a little bit more valuable since they have that sound barrier online and ready to go. Rogue is able to get a pick onto Oakley though. There's the stick. It doesn't get anything. The Immortality Field was there to keep the members of Hyperion alive. There's the beat as well to keep them up and running. The fight is breaking out heavily on point. Atomic gone down very, very low as well. They are eventually able to get healed back up, but it's 0-2 who falls first, this time to Stuffin' Things. Felix Penguin once again has popped to that amplification matrix. Nanorocket has an anti-nade on them, so they're unable to get themselves healed, but that Immortality Field is able to keep them up. And Volume Zero once again forced back to spawn with less than a minute to go. They've only gotten the cart just barely around this first corner.
I mean, once again, we see the hesitation of Volume Zero come into play. Rogue gets an excellent first pick onto his counterpart Oakley. That should have won. That should have been their opening. They should have gone in. They're not going to have the dynamite to have to play into. You have such an advantage to that fight, and they hesitated so long that nothing happened, and then Hyperion was able to find their footing again.
Yeah, they really were. Rogue throws in this dynamite to start the fight, though, to hopefully keep them off their footing this time. Shatter comes in. It catches Tekio out. Tekio gets charged into the wall and is taken out of commission eventually by Oakley. And without that, without that first bubble there, the double bubble's looking a lot less, useful. Atomic does have this primal, though. They're gonna need it to try and keep their hopes alive on point here. There we go. We see the primal in from Atomic, but they're getting frozen now by the King. The King saying, not in my court. You don't. The beat comes in from Nanorocket. They're able to keep their team up. Atomic jumps into the air, but goes down before they hit the ground, and that overtime is clicking down very, very slowly, but surely enough as Tekio tries to stall, but it's not a very far goal line that Volume Zero has set for Horizon to try and reach. Hyperion.
I'll say this right now. We are going to run into this problem all night if something doesn't change. Volume Zero is not fast enough. They're not aggressive enough. They are not playing. They're not taking the opportunities that Hyperion is presenting them. Hyperion is just a more aggressive team. That's why that they're winning these things on defense, where even though Volume Zero has an opening and should be pressing it, they're not. And it's letting the defense use that defender's advantage to just stabilize and come back in and naturally win the fight. So And then when Hyperion offenses, they're more aggressive and they take the advantages that they can have and they push into Volume Zero, and it gives Volume Zero a hard time. So we have to, if Volume Zero just has to play faster, they have to take advantage of these things. Otherwise, Hyperion is just naturally going to win because they have more opportunities to.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You know, it's like that famous quote, you miss all the shots you don't take, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
right now, Volume Zero, they're just not taking the shots that they need to. You know, you're gonna miss some of them. Yes, that happens. It's natural over the course of a game. But they can't hit if you don't throw them out there, and that's really, yeah, what we need to do. So let's see if they can do that on this defense. So we see Oakley already on the flank.
Yeah, we do see the Winston Diva here, so kind of a traditional Brawl tank line. It's kind of a hybrid comp we see coming out from the side of Volume Zero. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not they can actually provide the value that they need to, though.
Yeah, with that Dynamite and members of Hyperion on fire, it's going to make things hard, especially with the King going down now. Not having him in your DPS line is going to make things problematic, but Rogue goes down as well, so already we have a counter pick. Nano Rocket doing some great work right there. Stuffing things, picks out Atomic, and yeah, this looks like it's going very quickly the way of Hyperion. They're very close now to this goal line that they need, but look, the ante comes in onto Lexi and Felix Penguin. Immortality Field is forced out to try and keep them alive, and it's all that they need to do. They're winning the neutral fight. The goal line is in sight, and Hyperion is going to go up 2-0 in this series in quick fashion.
I didn't really get a chance to say it, but from the get-go there, I did not like that composition choice from Volume Zero. That box is right there. Okay, they don't even have to get it beyond like halfway to third. It's so, or to first, I mean.
First,
it's so right there. To play dive defensively onto that, where you don't, so you're not going to have the spawn advantage. You're not going to have anything of that kind of sort to help protect you. You have to play perfectly. And not kind of the perfectly that Brawl can get away with occasionally making a mistake and a DPS getting picked, but your tanks still being up. Your tanks have to perfectly get those picks every fight to keep up your team. They perfectly have to shut them down first, too, which requires excellent tempo, something that Volume Zero does not have. So I think they shot themselves in the foot from the beginning with that composition choice. I think they had to play that smarter, and it was basically just setting them up for hard mode, essentially, up for the defense. They had to play that so well to get the value to make it work. And I don't know if really a lot of teams could, to be honest, because that is just such
really good point.
Thin window.
Yeah, you're walking a very tight line there, and Volume Zero really did, unfortunately, decide to work harder, not smarter. They got that backwards just a little bit there. And moving into, this third map, I'm curious to see what map Volume Zero picks to try and equalize here.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say right now, just from an outsider perspective, Volume Zero looking a little boomed. I would encourage them not to throw in the towel yet. It's not over at all. It doesn't have to be over.
Yeah.
But it will be if you give up. And you have to continue. I know it's like really difficult, but guys, you gotta take a deep breath and you gotta think things through smartly and not panicked.
We believe in you, Volume Zero.
Yeah,
we do.
Really, it always can turn around. It really can. But you have to just believe that it can. And, I'm getting a little bit like inspirational coach speaking at a high school or something. But I will say that, you just have to keep going. And Volume Zero very well could turn this around still and reverse sweep it. It's happened before. Crusaders was famous for it. For getting reverse swept in stage 1. So it definitely could happen as long as they isolate their mistakes and address them. And the question is whether or not they're going to be able to do that in the middle of a match where the timeline is so short.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Right now, we are looking at the map choice, though. Volume Zero has chosen where they are going to make their final, potentially final stand, and it is going to be King's Row, the most classic map that you could hope for in
Everybody loves it.
Overwatch. Yeah, Aaron Keller's masterpiece. Um, Goat's Row, that goes by so many different names and monikers, but we all know it very, very well, as do both of these teams.
Yeah, I'm a little famous for my opinion that I think Kings Row is overrated. Uh, I have
Not
received
gonna
some.
lie, I'm there with you too, buddy. I
Thank you,
really, I
thank you.
really am,
Oh my
honestly.
god.
Yeah, no, I
Oh,
totally am. I really shouldn't let this get out, but like, I think there's much better maps in there. It's because Kings Row is so brawl oriented. I want to
everybody
play stuff
loves
with
it.
more. I know. I
Oh,
want to play stuff that's a little more interesting. But enough about
yeah, yeah,
enough
yeah, yeah.
about
Yeah.
us. And now,
Just come
now
out
that
of the one. Just
speaking of shooting people in the feet, we have both shot ourselves in the foot right now with that hot take. So, but I'm
absolutely.
here with you, man. I'm gonna stand tall with it. Um,
That's
so
it's so good to find an ally. You have no idea how much hate mail I get in scrims from that for requesting. Oh, can we not play Kings Row? I'm so. Oh, okay, whatever.
just tell him Jungle God asked you to play a different map.
Oh,
See if
that holds
see
so
if
much
that works.
sway.
I don't know why, but it will. I'm not gonna argue with it though either. Oh
Oh,
my gosh.
it's perfect. It's perfect.
Well, tell you
I
what.
think. Go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I don't have anything to say. You go ahead.
Oh,
I was
and
gonna
then
come up with something.
I was gonna say, why don't we take it to a short break here, real quick, while we wait for
Perfect.
both teams to get ready, because I know one of them asked for a couple of minutes. So
And Lexi is great at backing him up with the off tank. So, on King's Row, we're probably going to see that Ryan, maybe the Ryan Zara, Red Diva is very meta right now too. So I think that I think we'll definitely see a large German man present here on the field at least some point.
yes, absolutely. More than likely a pair of twin, or well, one set of twins rather. Um, but there's a chance we could see double bubble here. It's not in vogue as much as it was earlier, but it is definitely still a possibility. And look at this, we do see Volume Zero running out.
there's a lot of natural advantage here going the way of Hyperion.
Yeah, there certainly is, and 0-2 is able to find a pick on this beat that they use. Unfortunately, my feed at the moment is paused, so I'm going to hand it over to you. Oh, look at that. I come back, and Oakley, once again, has 2 quick picks onto Volume 0 as they go back to spawn.
Yeah, we saw both Mei ults come out, but we did see Rogues get eaten by Lexi, which is just such a big difference. And, you know, and that Mei ult, I don't think either team has really been using them as effectively as they could be, but in the end, it's still an extremely effective ultimate, even if you don't find that much value with them.
Yeah, this is true, because it freezing everybody in place, that's gonna do nothing but good for you. The King finds a nice headshot onto Rogue, and the rest of the members of Volume 0 go down again. Tekio out of that Mac are probably gonna get staggered here, which is just unlucky.
Yeah, I mean, they added the remake kill, so that's not gonna happen that much, you know? We just don't want that to happen, Blizzard says.
No, none
Yeah.
of that.
Diva's not already broken. Let's give her a seismic slam too, Doom Pistol. But whatever. Anyway, coming back into this fight, we are gonna see the right. That's a disconnect.
Ooh. Oh no.
Volume
yeah.
0.
Lamosky.
So,
We lost Lamosky.
no Lucio ult this fight.
Yeah. I don't remember if they had it online or not, but regardless, any percentage that you lose on such an impactful ult like that is gonna hurt. Unfortunately,
especially when they're already down on ultimate in the economy sense. Hyperion has currently already got the Earth Shatter and the beat up, and they're pretty darn close to a Mei Blizzard again.
Yeah, and if they can get that beat up early, they're going to beat up on Volume 0 pretty effectively. You know, a lot of people really just think of it as a defensive ult, but it can be used aggressively as well. And if we've seen anything from Hyperion, we've seen aggression tonight.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be really, really difficult now for Volume 0 to push into. Even you know, natural geography aside,
yeah.
I think that this will be tough.
It certainly will be. Unfortunately, we have Lamosky back in the game. Volume 0, they're going to have to try and win this fight off the back of that amplification matrix or this shatter that Atomic is getting online. But Atomic's going to have to watch out for stuff and things shatter as well. So we're going to see some great Reinhardt mind games, I think, here, which will be a lot of fun. As a main tank, that is definitely something I enjoy quite a bit. Nothing better than you know, faking out your doppelganger and getting them to throw away a shatter and then hitting them with your own. So excited.
I personally love when one Reinhardt will shatter into the other shield, and then the other will shatter into the other Reinhardt shield, and it's like nothing ever happened. I see that one on Otter Oxide all the time. Shout out to Bishop. So. We'll go ahead.
Yeah, I feel we can call it so many different names, right? I mean, it's like I feel like you see that all the time in Plat, right? We could call it the Platter Shatter, the Plat Chat.
I love that. No, yeah, that one's better.
The Plat Chat.
The Plat Chat, because that's all it does, really. Just makes you panic for a second. The fight is beginning though, so I will throw it back to you.
Yeah, Immortality Field already out from Kavaden. Unlucky for them, they get frozen by this Blizzard. 4 members. Atomic doesn't have time to use that shatter. Tekio demeched Kavaden down, and that is a disaster for Volume 0.
Yep, I mean, that fight pretty much went the way we expected it to. Volume 0 didn't have much going in, and I think Hyperion knew that. They were like, hey, let's take a quick fight. But it did let them build ultimate, so now Volume 0 is looking much better on the ultimate economy.
Yeah, they certainly are. 0-2 trying to get that flashbang over the Reinhardt shield to stun him out of it to hopefully give Atomic a chance to shatter, but it doesn't quite land. But look at that! 0-2 finds 3 skulls! And 3 skulls explode on the side of Hyperion as Volume 0 is finally able to get this cart moving a little bit more into streets.
I gotta say, you get blue-balled so often on McCree, so many ways where you'll line up the Deadeye and then a Diva Matrix comes out of nowhere, or a shield suddenly appears in you, or a ball just rolls past and absorbs it all in his shield. That 3 kills, I envy the recipient. But I think now that Volume Zero has both these tank ults, which are both very powerful, but Hyperion with that aggression is going to see whether or not they can make it work.
Yeah, Aiden was there, clutch to keep Atomic up, but it's still not enough. Stuffing Things able to lead his team through a charge that just demolishes Volume Zero. Now there's only 30 seconds left on them left on the clock for them to try and complete this Streets phase.
Ooh, and with a stagger on the 0-2, that's going to be even more difficult for Volume Zero. They're going to really have to just wait and take their time. Or they might be saying, hey, we just can't. We got to get into position. We got to let our Mercury come in behind us. So we do see with they have to use these. They're using a Symmetra. Let's see if they use these tank ults well with the surprise factor.
Yeah, let's see if Tekio's bomb lands anything. It's in the air. It does. It catches out Nanorocket. Nanorocket had a beat ready to go, but nobody touches. Oh no! They had such a good approach. Things were looking good for them. Felix Penguin hadn't, neutralized some of that, but it ends right there at the doorstep of success in second point for Volume Zero. Then now it is time for Hyperion to see if they can put a capstone on this map with a 3-0 victory.
That's absolutely brutal. I saw Lamowski just try and jump in at the end, like they realized just a second too late, like, oh no, we don't have the time. I have to get on this. And I mean, right after, Felix Penguin found like 3, thanks to the May. But like, it's just that is brutal. Because that was a really well thought out strategy. We go in the Symmetra, we go up, teleport, we just don't even fight around this corner that's giving us so much trouble. I love to see that from Volume Zero. It's just a darn shame they didn't have the time to touch.
Yeah, it really, really was unlucky for them. But, it was good to see those moments of brilliance from them as well. And hopefully, I hope to see them back in Season 5 or 4.9 or 4.5 or whatever season is next in Owlet. Yeah, who knows? It could be Season Pi for all we know.
It goes backwards.
It goes backwards, yeah, to an irrational number. Maybe we can have the irrational tournament where you can't play any standard
just go back in time and
yeah, exactly.
We get miners back and all that happens. We did see the match, except Oakley now on the Symmetra with the May, so not a lot of frontline damage, but maybe setting up some interesting positioning for Hyperion.
Look at this wall that comes out. Stuffing Things is left out to dry. They drop down, but Rogue was there with a phenomenally placed May wall to take them out. And now Hyperion is just doing everything they can. People are having to work double duty to try and make something happen. Rogue takes out the King, though, so that is unlucky for them. And this is going to be a fight reset for Hyperion.
Rogue opened up his backpack and said, hey, everybody get in, because I got you. Shutting out Stuffing Things in that situation was that was the best possible situation that you could come to. That was phenomenal work, and it just really saved that whole point, because that was an excellent rotation from the side of Hyperion. Just put to rest by one quota.
Yeah, right? All it took was the push of one button, expertly placed like that, and they got it. Shatter comes in. It is blocked, though. Now we see the amplification matrix out from Kaveda to try and deal in more damage. The charge comes out from Atomic, but he gets booped away. Doesn't catch the target that he intended to. Tekio is able to take out Nanorocket in the meantime, but they get D-Mech. They use the Diva Bomb to try and take something out, but they're already dead to the King. The King showing once again why he deserves that crown and the name. The Shatter comes in from Stuffing Things, and it lays down a couple of members of Volume Zero. And now Hyperion can really get things moving on King's Row.
I think Volume Zero just got a little scattered there at the end. Hyperion came right into him instead of rotating together, which takes a lot of discipline and, playing together and really being well adjusted. They just kind of scattered, and they all split around them, like a spike into hot metal, and it was just able to wet Hyperion, just take him out one by one. So, but not a bad hold at all for Volume Zero, stopping that first push and elongating that second one.
Yeah, very good point. The Dragon Strike comes in from 0-2 to try to gain some ground and to split the enemy, and it looks like it has done a very, very good job of that, as we see Hyperion's numbers cut immediately in half, and Volume Zero can taking control of this choke, right where they were held for so long from Hyperion.
I was gonna say this is payback, a mirror hold. You love to see it. You do love to see it. But now Hyperion able to come right back. They do have the bomb from Lexi to clear some space, while the King has that deadly blizzard and the beat for stabilization. So looking very good ult wise.
Ooh, the
but they're
rogue
not
comes in
taking a
first.
chance to use it.
No, they certainly are not. Lexi goes down and is almost demeched. The King is out of the fight, as is Felix Penguin. But fortunately for them, they decided to hold on to all of their ults. So this next fight is going to really be an uphill battle for Volume Zero, even though they have the positioning.
Yeah, the onus is definitely now on Volume Zero, because they have to realize, hey, they didn't use any ults. We used a couple. That's a successful dry fight from the side of Hyperion, really, because now they have 5 ults and they just had to make something. They could throw it all at the board if they want to, and something will probably stick. It's just a matter of not messing it up.
Yeah, that's very true. Let's see what they decide to come out with. Tekio gets demeched by Nano Rocket. Immortality Field out. There's the Blizzard from the King. The King freezes so many people from Volume Zero. They go down to Temperature Zero as they can't move. And that is a nice fight win from Hyperion.
Volume 0 to Absolute 0. I like it, but that's very well. We do see 3 ultimates come out from the side of Hyperion, though. The Blizzard, which is big, but both support ultimates used to stabilize through that dragon. So the question is whether or not Hyperion is going to able to stand up to this this bomb incoming from Tekio.
Yeah, they were fortunately able to kite back well enough. This other bomb comes in. It doesn't catch anything, but Oakley does catch out Atomic. And now, without that main tank there, Tekio has so much more on her shoulders that she has to carry to try and keep this fight alive. Rogue is able to take out the King, so the fight has been equalized. Shatter comes in, doesn't catch anybody, but Lamoski goes down to Oakley, and Hyperion has this on the gates of victory. Once again, this could be the match. We might see the end of this game for Season 2, Week 5. Stage 2, and that's gonna do it. Hyperion comes in with the 3-0 win over Volume 0.
I can tell you exactly what happened right there. Oakley went on a massive flank. Otter Oxide calls these miraculous flanks because I do this off cooldown in scrims and I get yelled at for it. He went on a massive flank, and Tekio saw him and pushed him back and could have confirmed the kill, but backed off instead, went back to help her team. And while she did that, Oakley was able to go backwards, get the health kit, come back and demech her, and just rain fire from behind. They were caught in the pincer movement. It was over. So I'm not saying that lost them the game, but maybe if Tekio had invested just a little bit more into that Kree, they definitely would have had a little bit. They would put Hyperion at more of a disadvantage.
Yeah, it certainly would have. And, kudos to Volume Zero for showing up today, giving Hyperion a good run for their money. But Hyperion, congratulations once again, because you are advancing to the tournament. You have made the cutoff for the playoffs, and we are excited to see what you're going to bring to the table, no matter who you face in that quarterfinal 4 match. And we are going to actually throw it to a quick break so that we can get somebody in from Hyperion for an interview, and we'll come back as well with your MVP of the match. Stick around. We'll be right back. And we are back and live, everybody. We've got the double header interview tonight from Hyperion. We have both Lexi and Oakley in the casting booth. But before we get to the questions, we just wanted to announce your MVP for the match, which, drumroll, is Oakley tonight. Your work on that creep was just so consistent across all three maps that we couldn't give it to anybody but you. You did a fantastic job tonight, so thank you for entertaining us here in the booth, and a phenomenal job. Now, to start things off, I'm curious, after your map win at Busan, what were the comms like in chat after that? Were you all aware that with that one win on Busan that you had actually clinched your playoff berth?
Prior to the match, we were talking about it, and then after we got the first one, we were just like, let's 3-0 these kids and get out of here. We have a big game next week, so that's probably what we'll be focusing on going in with a rematch versus Otters, I believe. So,
well, yeah, it's going to be
Big
either
one.
Otters or TG. It's unclear at this point, but we'll get to that a little bit later. I want to turn it over now to Miraculous to see what kind of questions you have for this duo.
Well, I love the confidence. First off, you know where you are. So I wanted to say, we were talking a lot during the game about Rogue Dragon's lack, or not, sorry, Rogue Dragons, Volume Zero's lack of tempo, and aggression specifically. How there was a lot of opportunities where they just weren't taking things that they could take to win fights. Were there ever times for you guys where you guys were like, oh man, this fight's lost, like we messed up, and then nothing happened?
I'll go ahead and cut in. We
Yeah,
we
go
like
ahead.
to play. We like to play. Every fight's winnable
Mhm.
as long as you have the confidence in yourself and your teammates to turn the fight. No matter if it's just two of you left against five. If you have, I mean, we know how good how each other plays, and I mean, obviously 2v5, it's gonna be a lot harder. But if we know respawns are on the way, then yes, it can be winnable if we can stay there and do our part.
Mhm.
So we never really go into a fight unless we go down a lot. We'll just call no ults, back out. You know, we got some ults out and go next fight.
That's that's great. You know, that's great tempo and great mental. You know, just keep going and know when a fight is lost. That's great to see. I wanted to say for both of you, since there were some hero plays from both of you guys throughout the match. I wanted to say, were there any moments where one of you like threw something out and you're like, oh, there's no way this gets anything. This is just like a zoning or whatever, and then it paid off, and you were like, oh well, great. Or was it? Did you have confidence in all your abilities when I know this is gonna get something.
I know for me personally, my 2K bomb followed by the remake kill
Yeah.
on King's Row.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yep.
expect that to get anything, especially since a beat had just come out. I
Yeah.
didn't expect it to get anything, much less two. And then May was an ice block right next to me, and I said, "There's no way she comes out." And
I teed you up on that bomb, by the way. I threw a flash under the Ryan shield.
oh, did you? Okay,
Mhm.
appreciate it, homie.
Teamwork.
Massive value, by the
Hey,
way.
that's what
You
that's what
love to see it. You love to see it.
see. I peel for him, so he has to set me up with
Yes.
stuff like that.
I understand that as a hit scan myself. My off tank has to come bail me out all the time. So.
I
Yep.
mean, if you notice there, he kind of giga peeked where the entire team was coming from in their overtime, recontest on their attack, and he's like, "Oh, they're all up here. Please help, please help." And I'm just using all my DM saying, "Oh, thanks, Oakley. There's all my resources."
I'm special. What can I say?
Happens to all of us. It really does. Hit scan curse.
Exactly.
That's great. Well, my last question for you is now knowing that you are going into playoffs, do you have a message for either team that you are going to be potentially facing, either Team Growlu or Otter Oxide, keeping in mind that you are talking to a member of Otter Oxide right now in the casting booth? Do you have anything you want to say heading into that matchup?
Well, go ahead, Oakley.
We'll see you next week, maybe. I don't play with mouse excel on, and I changed my sons, and I hit shots now. So, and King doesn't have a fever, and Dylan's stomach doesn't hurt anymore. So, hopefully, we won't stall out after the second map. So,
It sounds like a fair fight. We're
we'll
looking
see
forward
in
to it.
next week, maybe.
Yeah, I'm looking. I hope we get to play Otters again. I want the rematch because, like, I had a stomach bug and King had a fever, so us two weren't up to snuff, and that was a fun game, and I'm looking forward to the rematch
Absolutely.
if that's what comes. So good luck, best of luck to y'all. Hopefully, the better team wins, which is
Absolutely. You
us.
guys played great
So
tonight. I think everybody is looking forward to see how far you guys can go. No animosity or anything.
Yeah.
Just
It's all
best of
love
luck to
here in the
everybody.
casting
Mhm.
Yeah. Best of luck, and you guys made playoffs tonight. Take a breather, relax for a minute, and then hit the grind again. But you got it going. Good job.
And that is going to do it for our broadcast tonight. Before I close anything out, wanted to just throw up the bracket real quick, just so everybody has a reminder of what this is going to look like. So now we do have we do have Hyperion clinching that quarterfinal spot once again against either Team Growlu Wu or Otter Oxide. So be sure to tune in for that match. It is destined to be a banger, regardless of who we see going up against Hyperion. Before I close things out, do you have any final words for anybody out there, Miraculous?
Nothing beyond my usual. Thanks for coming out and watching, Owlet. There would be no point for us to be here if you guys weren't here to watch us. So we really appreciate you guys coming out and supporting the community as usual. It's a great, loving community here at Owlet. Lots of fostering support for everybody. So thank you guys
Yeah.
so much for being here. Everybody congratulate to the teams tonight for GGs all around. This is a great game, and we hope that you continue to tune in for the playoffs coming up, because those are going to be really exciting.
Yes, it will. Well, thank you once again from all of us here in production. Thank you, Silent Meereen, as our production head tonight. My name is Warren Juggle God Hammond. Once again, been joined by Miraculous on the mic. GG's, and see you next time.